So you guys were all asking about character activities, abilities, and what you should level them up to and whatnot. So brief going over here. We'll go into a couple different guys and a couple different lineups. Let's start with Necrons. So obviously I have gold Emosa spec. His abilities are pretty awesome. He starts with one fewer hits on Overwatch. I have it pretty base set right now at 24. Now the ability I use most often is his active ability, the one that you actually clicked on during battle. You'll notice he gets 6 times 362 to 424 molecular damage. His next level is always just going to upgrade the damage, right? So right now he's at level 30. We have to get to at least, I think, 35 to go into legendary, but he's going to cap out at epic and not let me into legendary. Now, that is a heavy damage hitter. So to pair with him, I'll go to Mahokotep. His passive ability is going to give 1+ movement next to him and repairs. So he's going to sit next to Imosvec and move correlation to him because his passive ability is going to make his movement to 4, right? And then his active ability is Relentless March. It's kind of a dead end ability, right? Because I don't have anybody on my lineup who's going to summon somebody. If I was using an entire Necron team, his active ability would be way higher. So in this case, I should be upgrading his passive ability because it's going to buff Imosvec. In the same sense, oops, sorry about that. If we look at, oh, my dog's letting itself in. If we look at Virtuvius is going to make anybody next to him perform a normal attack. That's his passive. So always watch out for what their passives are. I work on passives more than I work on actives for the reason that a passive isn't a single use. So it's going to be the buff that helps everybody else out during the match, whereas an active only gets to use once, right? Virtuvius, though, has an interesting trait where his healing will heal any mechanical. So in my line, I have 2 living metal, which are mechanical units, paired with Virtuvius. He also pairs with Morven. Morven counts as a mechanical unit. So his healing will heal Morven stacked next to each other. Morven's passive is going to be an additional 3 times hits whenever she does melee. So in the back of my mind, I'm going to always keep Morven using melee attacks as much as possible because there's a buff on passive abilities. That being said, her active ability is going to be crazy high blast damage with 2 times hits and 1 times hit. So you got to look at the coverage that this deals with. So obviously with Morven, both of her abilities are going to be evenly stacked into legendary. What I can say is that when you're building a team, you're going to want to look at how these abilities work together. A good example would be Nauseous Rotbone. Nauseous Rotbone's passive stat is any adjacent chaos unit that's defeated has a 75% chance, so 3 out of 4 will revive at 1170 health. Okay, so obviously I'm going to want that stat crazy high because as a passive, the hit chance for revival isn't going to change, but the health is. So let's just keep, in fact, that right now I heal for 1170, right? We're going to ignore it as active and just concentrate on that. So if we go back to any one of my higher chaos units, Angrak's health is 1412. He's pretty much fully healed. If I get a crit heal on a revival, he'll be full healed. We'll go back to Abaddon. Abaddon's almost 1200 health. Yet again, full heal on a kill revival, and Abaddon's very close to a full heal. So keeping these 3 chaos right here, here, and here, keeping my 3 chaos beside Nauseous means that when they attack or use their active abilities, for instance, the active ability for Abaddon will lower his health to 284. Okay, so that's 1/5 of his health, which means he's in the percentage to be one shot killed by most attacks. So I use his active, automatically move Nauseous beside him. Opposing turn comes if Abaddon or Harkham's destroyed, standing right next to Nauseous. His passive ability is going to give him a 75% chance at reviving them at almost full health. Right? So when building lines, keep in mind where your abilities are working and how they coincide to each other. If anybody has any questions on that or would like me to go over buffs or abilities with their lineups or their characters they're looking at, by all means, go ahead and ask. I can go into more detail with this. I obviously have a lot of characters at lower end because I'm trying to buff a lot for you guys to see how to build your lines. But, Visions of Hearsay, passive ability, amazing. Keep in mind that a lot of these have health limits. So Lucian's a prime example. If you use his active and he's below 40 health, his passive's automatically going to add 15% pierce ratio. I hope this is helpful, and if you guys have more questions about it, by all means, just drop a message underneath this video, and I can go into detail about more. That was just a quick example.